And bada boom, bada bam. Here we go. Let's start again. Drawing more cubes. Oh, let me update the title in here. Drawing more cubes. And that's better. So we're gonna draw more cubes today. And crash more things. Yep. Let me start by increasing the window size. Should we say 1024 by 1024? That should be a little bit bigger. I usually make it smaller so I can remote into the PC easily. And that's it's moving. Oh, I forgot to do the Twitch stream live. Okay, everything is fine now. I boosted my audio. Is it a bit too much? Is there any too much noise? I can't hear myself. So the window is in, it's pretty good sized. Let's say that is nice. What? Wait! What is that? What is going on here? So from the previous stream, I made a bunch of changes. Pretty easy stuff, nothing wild. So I've added. Let's dive right into it. So I have added a bunch of classes here. So there is. So there is a block type, which is an enum. I just added a bunch of block types that didn't do really anything right now. And then they have the block data, which only has a type so far. And the chunk data is generated. So chunk data is generated data for each block. Right now it just not for each block. It's a cube of blocks. So it's a chunk. It just has a size which is fixed, so I'm not sure it's very useful here. The sector it belongs to, and the actual block types in it. Then I split the generation into a chunk generator and created like a flat. It's not a flat generator anymore. It's more like a sine waves generator. And actually, what I wanted to do is to remove the absolute here. So let me get rid of the fabulous. Come on, this mouse is rubbish. It had quite a few fallings from my desk, so it's pretty much broken in every piece possible. Still works though. All right. Yeah. Let me test that. So what it does is it reserves a bunch of an array, an array of data, and then it chunks in blocks based on some logic. Right now, so it's split into 2 bits. So the first is generation of the blocks. Yeah, it's a generation of the block type, and then there's a pruning phase where where it basically removes all the unnecessary bits. So I could remove this and say, okay, don't do any filtering, and we will get full solid blocks. So that's kind of very easy, low-hanging optimization. So it is different now because I removed the what did I remove? I removed the one side of the function. Ugh. That's horrible. What happened here is a mystery. Why is this bit missing? Why is this even offset like that? Okay. Yeah, there is something going on here. And this is probably part of the problem. Why is this little bit even here? Why is it only like a quarter? What is this? What 3? 3 out of 32. Well, needless to say, there is. Oh yeah, that's because the function is not aligned to the splitting of what are you? Oh, help. My computer is freezing. Okay, I did something dumb apparently, and I crashed Vulkan really hard. That's interesting. So I hope the stream is still fine, but probably not. I think I am frozen at this point. OBS is not very responsive. It's probably also not encoding anymore. How do I restart the encoding? Maybe you can just shut the stream. No, nothing is working. Yeah, everything is just stuck. Is it just a rendering? Ugh. How do I even recover from this? Okay, I'm gonna stop everything. I'm gonna restart OBS pretty quick. Hello. Oh, finally. That was bad. Okay. I should be back in. Nice. I don't know why it took so long. Okay, should be working now. Let me check audio level. I don't know why it took so long. Yeah, seems like it's working now. All right. What was I saying? Yeah, after the GPU crashed, like nothing worked anymore. I was working on I was reasoning on the generation of the chunks. So why there are discontinuities here and there, and so got the generation. There's a green envelope like here. That's why we got the -1 and for every dimension, and then the +1 for the size. We're gonna iterate over those paddings as well. Is this yeah, that should be correct. So the size is still the same, +1. And it starts from -1. Yeah, that's correct. Then we normalize. So this is the normalization, and it makes it go from 0 to 1. That is also correct. Fs is just the cast to float of the size. And then we add the sector. So that will turn it into 2, 0 to 1 to, okay, that seems to be fairly correct. Okay, let me try to debug this thing, and I'm gonna say, instead of using any fancy function here, let's just const float the normalized height will just be normalized x times normalized y. Which should make like stairs. And then here we test if the block is above our surface, and we just our function is we just make it air, otherwise it's gonna be dirt. Nothing fancy there. And right down here I disabled the checking for the solid blocks, so everything will be solid. Okay. What is this? Wow, this is no 0 to 1. Okay, maybe not 0 to 1. Let's multiply by something. By 20 blocks. Or, well, yeah, by the size. Wait, I'm getting errors. There was some error. I hope it wasn't my application to crash everything. Okay, this is pretty solid. Maybe I'm drawing a bit too much. Yeah, that could be. And it's still not what I really wanted. Yeah, that's not exactly what I was expecting. So let me turn back the bottom surface culling. Then you see what this does. Yeah, it just removes everything that is underneath. Okay, it's already way faster now. But there are a few things a bit wrong. This stepping is just... It is just weird. Alright, let's focus on one axis at a time. And instead of using the normalized version, I'm gonna just say, just use the x value. Yeah. Let's see. And it's also not That is not what I was expecting. Let me check. So x should be going from 0. Oh, not an x. I did the same mistake twice. Let's just do x. And this is very much expected. Okay, finally something is working as intended. Yeah, so this is expecting. But not this one. This is not expected to behave like this. Sorry. This is not what I wanted. Because what I really wanted to happen behind the scenes of the generation. So let me go to the actual creation and chunk generation. Okay, so that should be 6 by 6. 6 by 6, yeah. Why is it not 6 by 6? X from 0 to 6, yeah, that's fine. Y from 0 to 6, that is also fine. Then we have the two coordinates. Yeah, let's try to not center things. Yeah, don't center anything. I'm pretty sure there is something wrong here. So this is the index of the descriptor, and the descriptor is used. Yeah, the set index. It is stored here. That's the set, and the set index is going to be used in the drawing because it's going to reference the uniform buffer at which the pipeline will be loading. It will be loading the per object, which is just the object transform. So the object transform itself is a bit messed. It seems to be correct. So we got x, which is this. Okay, x, and it's gonna be 6 times 6. So for each row, so we call it row. For that direction, it's gonna be 6 of them. So the second row, it will be multiplied by 6, and then y. We just move one step at a time. Yes, it looks very correct. So I'm wondering if this is the problem, the update of the function of the data. I created a 32. Oh wait, why 32? Is it 32? No, it's not. It's not. Ah, it's not 32. Yeah, because 6 times 6 is 36. It's not 32. So that's the problem with hard-coded values. I want this to match whatever size I defined here for the number of the instances that I can draw. That is max instances. I need a getter then. Let me get that value. It's gonna be here 32 max. And what? Max instances, constant accept, and this needs to be used. And that's it. Return it. Make it static. Okay, whatever. Then, oh, but I cannot use it. I need static. Yeah, static might work. Make it static. Well, if it's static, then I want it to be like this. I don't know. I'm trying to find some sort of style somehow. So max instances, and it needs to be const expr, I guess. What's the problem? That's not the problem. Member is in access. What? No, the private. Yeah, now what's wrong? Cannot substitute non-type template argument. Okay. How do I make this const expr? Where do you put the const expr? Const expr maybe here. Const expr. Declaration does not declare anything. What? Should this be front? Yeah, okay. And okay, we got it working now. So let's try to use this value only directly from that function. So we only have one place of definition. How does this work? How does this work? Is it open? No, this is Vulkan. Able to compile it to APK. Yeah, I'm working on that exactly. So I have a second project in Android Studio, which will just open the same code. Oh, I'm broke again. What happened? Did my phone die? No. Okay, that always happens when I open Android Studio. Let me try to reconnect. I'm still not. Whatever. I can also just talk without the camera. So the Android, yeah. So this is the Android version, and I should have a Quest connected. So this is a Quest, but I'm not sure it's gonna work right away. Let me finish up with the little fixes that I had here. Well, it might even be fixed already. Let's see if it at least compiles. Oi, data. Okay, we need to update the staging. Staging buffer. Where do I create the staging buffer? Not for that. That must be in the generation, near the generation at least. Okay, by chunk size. Oh, but I didn't update the number. Did I? Yeah, this is 64 6 by 6. That should be enough. And the staging buffer is gonna be by the chunk size. Yeah, that is also fine. So why is it? Because the okay, yeah, that's chunks, and I am creating too many objects here. Okay, so I'm gonna just turn it down. Well, let me just use a vector at this point. So I don't need to specify the size. It's gonna be a bit less efficient because it's gonna require a heap allocation. But or in the update command, this should take a span of data, or yeah, this should take a span of data as well. So I could still use the array, and instead just make a span out of this and choose the size of the chunk. But I need to take the data. Yeah, I'm missing. Now, what's wrong? Vector? No, not vector. Back to array. That should be all I needed. Yeah, my webcam is it's broken. Well, it's not even a webcam. It's just my phone. Let's see if I can get it back. Now. It's just connected to my phone, but it sometimes just breaks. Not connected. Let me see. Yeah, whatever. I don't need. Not very reliable. Or should I try again? Okay. Yeah. Is this on? No. This should be on. Yeah, it is on. Okay. And should be back full. Let me close that. Okay, this is working. Crack is working. It should work on Quest too. I'm just demonstrating to Starlight Eggs. It's working. Yeah, that's. Thanks for sticking, 42x Gamer. Okay, yeah, it's obviously not working right out of the box. Const expert, no discard. What's wrong? Okay, so this is using Clang. It's a bit more strict about how you write things. And I don't like to use Under Studio because it's everything is red. It doesn't recognize the code very well, but it compiles fine. So I'm gonna be using C-Line for most of the time, and then when it's time to build it for the quest, I just run it. So build was successful. Is it running? Why is everything blank? Okay, yeah, it is running. You see, it. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, that is. Those are just the controllers. So I'm reusing the same uniform buffers, so it's not running properly. But also those cubes are hollow. So yeah, it also works on quests. But I'm not focusing on it right now. It's pretty much the same. So the heavy lifting of creating the binding for both of the platforms have been already done. So that'll be pretty much the same, except for little details like you've seen it already. Yeah, it's a little bit different here, but it doesn't really matter much. Okay, now it is complete. So this is already looking better. And back to the chunk creation. The chunk generation actually. So I need to go to the generate function, and we have x. Now let me try to bring back what I was doing before. Wrong keys. Just wanted to comment it out. Yeah, I look at the chat every once in a while because focusing on the code is much brain demanding. And okay, this is not looking sane to me. It feels like it's broken into little pieces. So instead of being continuous, like the continuation is going diagonal. Goes down, Or is it? Thanks, Annie Kamal. And if anyone wants to join the Discord, we can do some very hardcore coding party there. Okay. And what if I also draw? Yeah, let's try to draw another layer of chunks. So I'm going to go back to the generation of the chunks and introduce a new variable, which is the height, the vertical axis, and I'm going to call it z, which will start from, it shouldn't even be z, but I'm going to call it height, actually. And I want it to start from, yeah, maybe I can make it grow downwards from 0 to 5. And this will go into the x, y, and z into the y axis. Into the y axis. So the way the chunks are laid, the sector. So we have the whole world. And then this is one sector. Really bad at drawing today. So this is one sector, and the coordinate goes like this: x, this is going to be y, and this is going to be height too. But height really grows downwards, so you might find it like this because in Vulkan, the axes grow downwards, so this is plus y. And the offset is going to be height times times 36. Okay, which is the size of each layer. I just multiplied this by this. I should make them into variables rather numbers at this point. And in theory, it should work, right? If nothing goes wrong, this will do the job. Oh, it's taking... Okay, something crashed. Let's see what happened here. It's still... Well, I have increased the number of instances that I will need. So that's gonna be... Say, let's just make it 1024. That's a good number usually. And let me also check that is enough. So we made 36 and then we added 5 more. Yeah, that's more than enough. Did I put any? No, 64. Okay, I don't have anything hard-coded. 32s. So I have 32 by 32. Okay, that's the size of each block. We should be good now. I'm pretty sure that's where it broke, but it might still happen because I didn't debug it. And yeah, that was it. Oh, this is not what I was expecting. Okay. So I think I have no, what? Why is it so high? Why is it so tall? And I'm not using that. So it's not actually doing any continuation because it's probably not using it in the generation stage. So the sector, what should happen? Oh yeah, it should probably affect the h variable. So the h variable is that I want it to be h plus sector dot x, y. Why is it even x and y? Didn't I say it was x and z is for the height? Okay, let's try that. Yeah, z is for the height. Yeah, of course. Maybe or maybe not. X, y should be for the height, and z should be for the. That's maybe what I was doing wrong. Z should be the y-axis, and here we want the y. Yeah, made too many changes. It's gonna break a lot. Only a miracle would make it work. A miracle. It's well, I fixed the first bit, which is fixing the no. Oh yeah. This is fixed now. The layer itself is fixed. It looks like it's going downwards and then up, but it's not doing a good job in preserving the height. So the function itself is not, the amplitude is not that high to affect these other blocks. So when I say here that it's minor than the normalized, maybe I should, if the height, okay, the sectors should probably be okay, what am I doing here? This is probably not super. Okay, so we are the height is depend on those coordinates, and it's also no sector dot y. Then why do we check if the current sector is Now this should be fixed. Like this is the actual function value, and then I need to test whether this sector's height is less than, this is a global because it does not depend on the sector. Is the sector being forwarded correctly? So it's a flow height. This is the height of each block, and I should normalize it. Yeah, okay. While the time is running a bit low, I guess I'm gonna be stopping it here, and I'll be back on this later, I guess. So, sorry for not being able to finish it, but I've got other things to do. But yeah, tune in next time. So if you subscribe, you'll be notified whenever I start streaming something. As you may have noticed, is about voxels, rendering, and terrain generation, probably at some point. Textures, yeah, everything from scratch. I'm gonna be using Vulkan and OpenXR. So see you next time, I guess. Have a nice day, everybody. I might be streaming later or again.